I intentionally brought my sister because after talking with her for so many times, I see the wisdom she has. She's a businesswoman. She is also a leadership management, trainer and a coach. And she's so many things. She's a therapist. And she has a lot in her hand. And she balances it. She's a woman, of strength. I like her for the fact that she's focused, she's strong. She does anything she wants to do, she do it and do it comfortably. At the same time, she's enjoying her life. You cannot come to this life, suffer, do business, no work. Do marriage, marriage, everything goes there. And then every day you are looking at your life. You just struggle. But this person I'm talking to you, she can carry her bag today and say, no, I want to go to Dubai and just stay. She will go. When she's tired, she can carry her bag and say, I don't like Dubai. Let me go to Greece. And everything is still working. That means there's a secret she knows about structure, organization, and also the mindset. So this morning, we brought her here to talk to us. For the next 30 minutes, she's going to be a blessing to us. And like we all do in the Shepherd's way, can you all help me stand on your feet and just help me welcome my sister and my friend, Professor Dr. Lavonia Douglas. Help me celebrate the woman of God. Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing today? Y'all happy to be here on this Saturday morning bright and early? Yes. Okay, y'all can have a seat. Listen, so I took some notes because my brain goes all over the place. So I want to stay focused. But I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to you all. So thank you, Pastor Jackie, for allowing me this opportunity. So a little bit about myself. My name is Lavonia Douglas. I am from the U.S. I've been in the field of probation and parole in D.C. for the last 23 years. But while I was working, I was building my businesses while I had a full-time job. And so I'm an international organizational leadership psychologist, which means I go into organizations, I help them develop their teams, their leadership teams, I do training. I'm also a professor at a school in Boston. The course is use of self in leadership. So how do you use yourself as you lead others? And so if you were here on Wednesday, you heard Pastor Jackie talking about identity. And if you don't know who you are as a person, then how are you leading others? You have to lead yourself before you then lead others. So that's just a little bit. You'll probably hear a little bit more about me as I talk, but one of the things that I want you to leave here today with is building your brand, what it looks like, and I think we might be all in different places. Breaking limits, it starts with your mind. When we think about breaking limits, it starts with the way that you think from the time that you wake up in the morning and becoming all that God has called you individually to be. So who is this for? It's for beginners, people that they think they want to have a business, but they don't have a business name, they don't have structure, they haven't registered anything, it's just an idea. Or you might not even have an idea about what you want to do. You're just at the very basic stage. And then we have people that have started. They have registered their business. They're doing business, they might be making money, they might not be making the money that they want to. Or you might be like already just doing amazing things, right? But then we scale. So when you're scaling, you are mentoring people. You're multiplying what it is that you already do. So if you have a brand here in Nigeria, then let's have a brand in the US. Let's have a brand in Dubai. Let's go to Jamaica. Like we're going global. So when you're thinking about whatever business that you have, we're starting local with where we are and we're going global. Does that make sense? So I want to know kind of who's in the room. And I love that we have intimate because I can call on people and I can say, can you tell me your name?
Jamai.
You see how that works? I just love it. So if you have a business already and you are at the point of scaling, can you raise your hand? If you have a business and you're at the point of scaling, meaning you want to mentor others, you want to scale to outside of Nigeria and go somewhere else, can you raise your hand? All right, if you've like just started, you just started your business. I need to look at the time so I can stay on track. If you've just started your business, you have clients, but you're not at the point of scaling. You're not really necessarily leading anybody. Who's? How many people are there? Yes. And who is at the very beginning? They don't necessarily know what they want to do. They don't have a business. They don't have a business name yet. They have ideas, but there's no structure. Who's anybody there? So everybody here has a business. Tell me what your business is.
I do poetry.
Okay, love that. Tell me what you do.
I run a school.
You run a school? Oh, I need to talk to you. Okay. And the colorful, tell me what you do. You want me to come to? I can come to you. Listen, I can walk. I wore flats for a reason so I can move around.
Thank you. I'm into supermarkets.
A supermarket?
Yes, please.
Nice. Do you sell Arabian tea? Yeah. I need to see you because I love Arabian tea. Tell me what you do.
Okay. I sell different things, so shoes, bags.
Come on, shoes, bags, because we got to be cute when we going outside. It's all about presentation. You can't just be walking around looking crazy. What you do?
I sell water and drinks.
You sell Arabian tea too? Yes? Y'all like Arabian tea? Like y'all are used to it. I'm not used to it. So it just excites me every time I go somewhere and they sell it. I enjoy it. All right. So when we think about who you are, people ask me who I am, I'm a visionary, I'm a creative, I'm a unicorn of excellence. And when I say unicorn of excellence, that means I'm unique. There's nobody else in the world like me. Nobody. The world probably couldn't handle two of me's, right? Because we would be all over the place, right? I'm a leader of leaders. I am a wife. Not yet, but it is what I say it is. You understand? And so, so these are the things, well, that's kind of a role, but I'm going to be a wife. So these are some of the things that I talk about every day. And so I have a list of things that I read every morning that keeps me at the top of my mind about what it is, who I am, and who I'm called to. So when we think about who we're called to, when you think about what your business is, what got you into that business? You don't have to answer, just think about it. When we think about she has a school, what called you to opening a school? When you sell clothes and shoes, you have a supermarket. Who are the people that you are called to? So a lot of times we'll go into business because someone gives us an opportunity. Someone came and met with me yesterday. Like I said, I worked in law enforcement, and they're a lawyer, and they do business for people that are incarcerated and don't have the funds to pay. So she's like, we should do business together. You can run my nonprofit. You can do this. You can do that. And I'm going to give you this title. And I'm like, you met me 5 minutes ago. Why you want me to run your nonprofit? You don't know about my integrity. You don't know how I deal with money. Then she was like, and then, because everything will be transparent. You can even hold the money in your account. You give us the money. What? You gonna give me money to hold for your nonprofit and pay you? Like, it don't even go together. It doesn't even make sense. So I'm just like, okay, well, I'll take your information. But in my mind, like, that's not even connected. I know who I'm connected to. I'm connected to building leaders. I'm also connected to reentry, people that are coming home from prison and creating those programs across the globe. So you helping people in prison is amazing. That's not who God has called me to be. And it sounds like it's the same, right? We're talking about inmates. We're talking about helping people come back. It sounds the same, but the missions are very different. So when you don't know who you are, who you're called to, that can look like a great opportunity. She done gave me a whole title. I don't want no title, right? Like, because it's not about the title. It's about what you're doing in the position that you are with or without a title. So when you know who you're called to, when you know the people that you're supposed to be impacting, people can bring you amazing opportunities, but it doesn't mean that's the one that God has for you to do. Does that make sense? All right. So when we think about being creative, I'm creative. I told you I'm creative. And so I give myself titles. So one of my titles is a luxury leadership globetrotter. Has anyone ever heard of that before? Has anyone ever heard of a luxury leadership globetrotter? Do you know what she would do? No, you've never heard of it. You know why? Because I made it up. I made it up because I called myself a nomad because I traveled all over the world doing different things. And somebody put me in a hotel that was, like the toilet was like almost on the floor. The bed was like, took up the entire room. Like there was no elevator. Like I couldn't even take my suitcases up the steps, like because the thing, the hallway was so small. And so it was an awful experience. So I said, I think I need to be more specific. So I said, I'm gonna need to be, because nomads, they stay anywhere. So I want to be a globetrotter. I want to travel the globe, but I also want to do it in luxury. And because I know my calling is to help people lead, I'm going to put that in the title too. So then I went back and told my team, I was like, I need you to create me a logo because I don't know when I'm going to use it, but I'm going to use it one day. And so when I got here, I started telling the people, I then got me a whole t-shirt made that says Luxury Leadership Globetrotter. I'm going to create a whole brand and a movement of luxury leadership globetrotters. And it all came from an idea that I just executed on.
Did you get that?
So when we think about being creative, God created us to be creative in whatever area he has called us to be. And so we're not looking at anybody else, what anybody else is doing. Nobody's doing the things that I did. The track, I got my bachelor's in criminal justice, then I got my master's in clinical mental health counseling. I thought I wanted to be a therapist. And then I got my doctorate in organizational leadership psychology. That's not a normal track. They don't go together,
At all.
right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times you'll start with one thing, it's like, I have to stay. If I stayed in criminal justice, I wouldn't be where I am right now, right? But it's a journey, life is a journey, and because life is a journey, you do one thing, and then you do the next thing. It was necessary for me to get a degree in mental health psychology so that I could understand the psyche of the leaders that I am then teaching to lead. It wasn't meant for me to be a therapist. But if I was so focused on the fact that I spent all this money on this 4-year degree, I had to do practicums, I had to do all this therapy to even get the degree, I would have stayed there, miserable, behind a desk, or now, because it's on Zoom, doing therapy one-on-one as opposed to traveling the world and talking to people like you. So it's not about the thing that you did once. It's like, what is the next thing? And so for the last 2 years, I have really been living a life that is led by the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
So even in business, right, as business women, we don't take God out of our business. So I left my job. I left 2 jobs in 2 years. So my first job, I worked in corrections. I had 3 years left to retire, but they didn't know how to treat me. And they thought that because I only had 3 years left that I would stay and they could just treat me how I wanted to and I was just gonna take it. And I said, I could show you better than I could tell you. And I left October 21st, 2023. I left my second job, then I went to be implementation science specialist, which allowed me to travel. I wasn't in a desk, I didn't have an office to report to, loved it. But then there was still something missing because they were still telling me what to do. That was not connected to what I already knew God had told me was my calling, which was to build leaders. They also wanted me to sit behind a desk, create spreadsheets and workbooks, and I don't want to do none of that. I don't like it. It's not fun. And so I'm like, we're supposed to do work and have fun at the same time, not just do work. So I left that job September 12th, 2025, which was 4 weeks ago? And I was on a plane to Nigeria Monday, September 15th, 2025. And now here before you having a conversation about business, leadership, development. I had no plans when I got on that plane that Monday. None. I knew that I wanted to record some reels and stuff, but I had no plans. But I knew that the last 2 years, God has been ordering my steps every single day from the time that I wake up to the time that I go to bed. I'm very intentional about my time. I'm intentional about the people that I'm around. And the this entire 4 weeks, I spent time with God. I said I was in my room and at church the majority of the time that I was here, but it was necessary, and now I'm here. And so when we think about where God is taking us, we don't always know. And you have to be comfortable not having all the answers. You have to be comfortable not being in control of the situations. And you have to be around people that are helping you build. I tell people all the time I live in a bubble. And everybody cannot come into my bubble. I'm allergic to negativity. When I say allergic, like my body has a physical reaction to negativity. And so I remove myself from the situation. And now I can choose. When you work for somebody else, you can't choose your boss. You can't choose your coworkers. You can't choose your clients. They coming in, you got to deal with it. Your people in Nigeria sometimes have a tendency to raise their voice real loud. And then they like talking directly at you, like they talking down to you. So in my mind, I'm like, I wish they would. Nobody's tried me yet. Nobody has. But again, when you know who you are, I don't like the way that you talk. You don't have to yell back, because one thing I noticed too is people start yelling back and forth. Like, oh my God, where are we getting? But you can teach people how to treat you. You can say, you yelling at me is not going to make me do the work better. You talking down to me is not going to motivate me then to do work for you even more. And so I would appreciate if when you have something you want to share, this is how I best receive it so that I can give you what it is that you need to give. And you're not disrespectful. That was respectful, right? That was nice. I said it nicely. Right? I don't like the way that you're talking to me. And so even in that, in order for us to operate in our best selves, it matters how people treat you. So if they don't know how to treat you, you teach them how to treat you respectfully. So when I think about the young lady earlier talked about doing things in excellence when she was praying. And I said earlier that, I call myself a unicorn of excellence because it's important about how I show up. It doesn't matter how anybody else shows up because we have to separate ourselves from everybody else, right? And I'm just going to use this as an example because it's top of mind. It's time. Being on time is something that's important for me. That wasn't always important for me when I was at work because I really didn't. It took me forever to get to work. It took me an hour and a half commute one way. I was a single parent. My daughter had skin issues. She had really severe eczema, so I had to cook all of her food. I had to make sure she had her creams at school. So my mornings took a long time. So I wasn't just late because I was late. I had stuff to do. But then when I started being in a leadership role, those things I still had to do, I started having to get up earlier. I had to create a bedtime. So my bedtime is 10 o'clock. Like, I don't talk to people after 10 o'clock. If I do, it's because I have an event or something to do. But I'm very strict to my 10 o'clock so I can wake up early enough that I have time to spend with God. I have time to read my list. I have time to read my devotionals, right? Because that is how I start my day so I can be the person that God has called me to be. I can speak to the people that God has called me to speak to. I don't have to go look at my notes. He just is going to download what it is that I had to say. I wrote a whole list of things that I had to say this morning. And I said hardly none of them. Because God tells me, okay, this is what you have to say. This is where you need to go. This is, right? So you can have a plan. Then he has another one. And whoever's supposed to get what it is that you have to get will get it. Right? So when you mention it's not about the crowds, the people that are here this morning want something. Right? You want something, you want better. The women in Nigeria can change the whole narrative of this country. When people think of Nigeria, the first thing they think of is scammers, liars, cheaters, which is true. Like, they're here. People are concerned for me. Who's this person you're working with? Who's that person you're working with? Because they know that that's what it's here, but it's everywhere. For whatever reason, Nigeria gets a really bad rap, but it's important for the people in Nigeria to show them something different. It is on you, the people that is in this room, to change the narrative. So when you think about your business, when you think about your gift, when you think about your identity, when you think about what God has called you to do, how do you help change the narrative of Nigeria? The women in Nigeria are strong. The stuff that y'all have to deal with and encounter on a daily basis, I am in awe of. The people in America wouldn't be able to deal with half of the stuff that y'all just deal with on a daily basis. So the strength that y'all have, you don't even know the strength, because if you haven't been anywhere else, you don't even know, you have no clue. But I've seen it, and so I've seen you all. When I got off the plane, I'm seeing all these outfits. I felt like I was at home because I'm extra. And so the outfits are so extra. Listen, I'm gonna have to find me that. You understand? Because it's beautiful. So people walk over, their hair is done, their makeup is always done. Like, you present yourself in a way that people want to get to know. What do you have? But you have to see yourself like that as well. Y'all are not less than anybody. Y'all are like up here. So you have to see yourself up here. You have to see the entrepreneurial spirit that you have as here. You have something to give. The important thing is that you're in the place that God has called you to be so that you can help others get there. Does that make sense? Okay. Ooh. All right, let's go back to my list to see what I can talk about. One of the things I want to talk about is our mindset. When I think about mindset, I have this coaching program, and there's 3 books that we read in the program. And it's a leadership development program, but none of the books that we're reading is about leadership. The first book is Change Your Life, Change Your Paradigm by Bob Proctor. The next one is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And the third one is Let Them by Mel Robbins. So when we think about the 3 books, if your paradigm is not shifted in how everybody else thinks, you will do what everybody else is doing because that's the norm. If people are lying to get whatever it is that they need to get, that becomes the norm. It becomes acceptable. And even when you call people out on their lies, it's like, well, it's not that serious. Everybody's doing it. We are not everybody. We are not doing what everybody is doing. So we are living in integrity. We have character. We represent Christ. So if the Bible says, thou shalt not lie, we're not lying because the Bible says that we are living based off of biblical principles, not what the culture says is acceptable. So when you think about, again, so these are things that when you read books, and I've read these books about 10 times. So it's not a book that you read one time. You're like, oh, that was nice. Because the book is practical application. I'm also a professor. I mentioned that earlier. So everything that I do is about how do you apply what I've said. Right? So one of the things I talk to you about is my list. I want to show you this first too, because we talked about how you dress, and I want to be a talk show host. So I'll walk around with a sparkly microphone. This is a cheap microphone. It's like a play microphone, but I take it everywhere I go. And when I go through security at the airport, they be like, do you have a microphone in your purse? Yes, I do. They're like, does it work? No, it doesn't. It's just for decorational purposes only. But, they say dress for the job that you want. And so I want to be a talk show host, so I'll walk around with a sparkly microphone. So, I'm not just telling y'all to do it. I'll be doing it too. So this is this one thing that I want you guys to do. So I told you I'm unicorn. So this is a book somebody gave me. These are the boring other PhD students. This is me. The unicorn on the pole. I'm not really dancing on the pole, but it's just a representation of my uniqueness. So this is a practical thing that I want you to do. I want you to create a book. It could be a book. It could be on your phone. I want you to write 300 things that you are believing God for. And when I say 300, I mean 300. You might get to 75 and you'd be like, this is too much. 300. 300. 300. So I created my list because I also dated so that I can keep track of everything, right? So I started this list October 23rd, 2023. So we're almost at 2 years. Right? And the person I heard say this, he said, every year you should check off at least 30 things on your list. It's almost been 2 years, and I've checked almost 80 things on my list.
Wow.
So I'm not telling you something that I heard. I'm telling you something that I'm living. One of the things on my list was have no office to report to. I have no office to report to. If I go to somebody's office, it's for a meeting or because I want to, but not because I have to go to work at 8 o'clock and leave at 5. Somebody's clocking my time. I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and I was like, well, what did you do today? She was like, nothing. But you at work. She's like, yeah, but we don't have internet. We don't have anything to do, so I'm just here. So you've been here for 6 hours and have done absolutely nothing with your time? She's like, well, I was playing on my phone. Girl, do you know what you can do with 6 hours? And she was like, well, I'm getting paid. So the mindset is, I'm getting paid, I'm here. If you don't give me nothing to do, I don't have anything to do, so I'll just scroll on my phone. I'm like, girl, you could be creating your whole vision for the business that you want. Like, use your time wisely, right? We got ChatGPT now. You can put all of your ideas in ChatGPT and it'll work as like a business partner to help you think of things, help you play with titles, like use your time wisely. And so at this point, I have 409 things on my list because as time goes, I add things. As somebody said things, I was like, oh, I want that. Let me add that to my list, right? So it's gonna take work on your part to change where you are. One of the things that I say is if you don't change where you are, you're choosing to stay where you are. You've made a choice to stay where you are. I've just given you 3 books. They're all on Audible. They have the PDF version. I could email you the PDF version if you want the PDF version. But it takes work on your part when you're around people that are gossiping, when talking about people, you're wasting your brain space. I would prefer to be by myself creating things than just to be around people because I don't want to be alone. I enjoy my company. I barely watch TV because I'm creating things. I met with somebody the other day. Her interest was also in the re-entry. She's a lawyer. So then I went home and I started like putting together other trainings, doing some research on what the re-entry issues are in Nigeria. Right, like you have to research the population that you want to serve. So if you want to go global, you have to think about what country do you want to go to? What are the cultures that they have? What are the expectations that they have when you show up? Right, because you can't just bring what your culture into theirs. But God didn't call us to just be stationary into one place. And he also didn't call us to the same places. He might have called you to Dubai. He might have called you to China, you to Jamaica. Listen. We're not all called to the same people, but there is enough people for us to change the world with what God has put inside of us to do. Does that make sense? So I've given you 3 books to read. You don't have to read them all at the same time because that could be overwhelming. My suggestion is start with Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life, because if you don't change your paradigm, you won't be able to think rich. Because you'll be like, I just want enough to pay my bills. Why? How are you going to impact the world with just paying your bills? And then let them. Let them is about the people that you're around, how you interpret how people treat you, and choosing how you want to show up.
Yes.
So as a leader, those are how you show up matters. How you lead as the example matters. And you're not, and if you are looking at someone, because we all should have mentorship, we all should have coaches, but they should be somewhere you want to go. They should have integrity. When you're in business, a lot of times people will tell you to give 5 and say that you're half booked, right? Like you're almost sold out. Well, that's a lie. You didn't gave 5 away. You're not sold out. It's a lie. So they say, well, no, it's marketing. That means marketing is a lie. So again, the things that the world do are acceptable, but are they acceptable to God? So it's not about doing what the world does. So I've had multiple coaches that I fired because I was like, I can't go with your strategy because it doesn't match what I want to do and how I want to show up in the world. So what are the 4 things that I've left you to do? What's the first book? Let's say it all together. Change your paradigm, change your life. That's book 1. What's book 2? Think and Grow Rich. It's book 2. And Let Them by Mel Robbins. That's book 3. And to write your list of 300 things that you're believing God for. And there's categories. The categories could be marriage, business, children, education, your health, how much money you have, if you want a nonprofit, what does it look like? Each of these categories you can build out. I legit have at least 150 things on my list of what I want my husband to be. And it's not about his height, it's about integrity, character, doing business together, ministry, how does he operate in ministry? These are things that are important to me. So when the person comes, I can see, do you have integrity? Do you lie? Are you active in your church? Do you play a role in your community? Or are you, everything is selfishly motivated? So all those things matter. So as you're writing your list, those are the categories, and that is also how you show up in business with your full self. Your full self is not separate from your home life. You are the same person whether you're at home, whether you're at McDonald's, or whether you're at church. Your character does not change. And I think my time is up, but so I'll be back. I don't know when, but I'll be back, and I'll remember your faces, and I'm gonna ask you, tell me what book you're on. Tell me what you're learning in the book. Let me see your list, because I carry my list. So if you ask me to see my list, I will be able to show it to you. And I check off when things have happened so that I know, like, these are the things that's happened. That's how I know it's been over 80, because I check it. Okay? So these are practical things that you can do, and there's accountability in doing those things. So you have to connect yourself with other people that are doing the same things so that y'all can encourage each other, because it's not going to be easy. Okay? All right. Thank you.
Please celebrate her. Hallelujah. I hope you all got what she said. If you didn't get it, don't worry. We'll interpret to you. The first thing she talked about is your appearance. You know, she said that the way you appear should be intentional. And that's why she showed us the microphone. See that still, even me, I'm going to get. You get me? I like that. She packaged it very well. And you know, so when you're going to the airport, you are passing through. Thank you, Joshua. And you're passing through the security check. Definitely they will see that, you know, and they will ask you, what is it? By the time you bring it out, it's beautiful. You have even carried them. Even if they want to ask you any question, they won't even ask again. So she talked about, you know, your appearance, you know, the way you should be able to present yourself, presentation, general. And she talked about mindset. That one is deep. And that's why she gave us 3 books to read. So that as you read this book, you change your life. You learn from it. And then she also said that you should write 300 things you want, you know, to achieve in life. And as you go on, she said that she wrote her own in 2023. Now, she has achieved a lot, almost about 80 to 90. So she also add as the year is, you know, going by. And she also says something that you should be, you know, carry your full self anywhere you go, and then know what you allow into you and know what you give. It is not everything that you allow. If there's anything I've learned from this woman in these few, you know, weeks that we have met, she keeps saying this thing, and I'm like, may I sit down here? I've been doing pastor's wife, and I was giving myself a headache that was not. I learned never allow negative. She said no, 0 to negative energy. So anybody that is bringing you negative energy, keep them there. Let them keep their energy there. Because the moment you start putting energy here, negative, it will kill you, destroy you, you will get lost. So that's why she said that when you are talking to her, you are shouting, you are raising your voice, You're raising your voice it's not going to make her do what you want to do. And talking her down will also make her to do what you want to, so that she will politely tell you, I don't like the way you're talking to me. And if you don't, or you want to continue, she turn. And she has kept you very, very far until you realize and accept to know that she has a space, she has her life. Then you allow her, then she allows you in. So I think this is one major thing we need to practice in this church. People shouldn't just come and everybody use emotion. Something that happened somewhere, they want to talk to you, the emotion they have about you. Somebody just heard gossip about you. They didn't even come to verify whether it's true or not. Now they are talking to you from that point of their gossip. And then you now, they pour it into you, then you become bitter. How can somebody carry bitter leaf, pour into you and you drink? No. She said also that Nigerian women, we are wonderful. Everybody have a narration that Nigerians are scam. They are 419. They are this. But she has seen, imagine an outsider come to tell us who we are. The Nigerian women are strong. The Nigerian women are strong. So that why can't the women rise and change that narrative?